What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we enter the Silver Age of the Walt Disney Animation Studios filmography with 1950s Cinderella, starring the vocal talents of Eileen Woods, Eleanor Audley, Verna Felton, Lucille Bliss, Rhoda Williams, Jimmy McDonald, and June Foray. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And like I said during the introduction, today we enter the Silver Age of the Walt Disney Animation Studios. And this is going to be a fun-filled, action-packed block. Just to kind of give you a heads up, the Silver Age of Walt Disney Animation Studios consists of today's film, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, 101 Dalmatians, The Sword and the Stone, and The Jungle Book. Those 8 films are considered the Silver Age in Walt Disney Animation Studios history. You can't tell me that that's not like a greatest hits. Not counting the Renaissance, of course, because we all know how great the Renaissance period was. But when you talk about specific eras of Disney movie history, it's hard to argue that the Silver Age isn't the original greatest hits package. Let's get right into it here, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a widowed father with a young daughter named Cinderella. The widowed father meets and marries a widowed woman named Lady Tremaine, who has 2 daughters of her own named Anastasia and Drizella. Shortly after the marriage, Cinderella's father passes away, and Lady Tremaine, who is jealous of Cinderella's beauty, orders her to be a servant in her own home and makes her live in the attic. Lady Tremaine constantly overworks Cinderella, and even Anastasia and Drizella constantly take advantage of Cinderella, always adding to her workload and mocking her. In spite of all this, Cinderella remains kind of heart and obediently doing her chores, while also taking care of the mice and the birds that live there, making friends with them. She also protects them from Lady Tremaine's cat, Lucifer, who makes her chores more difficult in result. One day, the king begins to become impatient for his son to provide him with grandchildren. Despite the objections of the Grand Duke, the king invites all of the eligible women in the kingdom to attend a royal ball, hoping that the prince will find a woman to choose as his wife. Of course, Cinderella desires to attend, and she finds a dress that belonged to her late mother to fix up for the ball. Lady Tremaine, Anastasia, and Drizella are afraid that Cinderella will upstage them at the ball and deliberately keep her so busy that she has no time to spare. So Jock and Gus, 2 of the mice, and the other animals decide to fix the dress up for Cinderella by using beads and a sash that was discarded in the garbage. However, when Cinderella attempts to go to the ball with her family, Anastasia and Drizella recognize their discarded belongings and tear her dress into pieces out of anger. Cinderella flees to the garden in tears and collapses against a bench, where she is met by her fairy godmother, who transforms Jock, Gus, and 2 other mice into 4 white horses. She then transforms a pumpkin into a coach and turns Cinderella's horse, Major, and bloodhound, Bruno, into a coachman and footman, respectively. The fairy godmother also gives Cinderella a beautiful ball gown and glass slippers, but warns her that the magic will all end at the stroke of midnight. Cinderella arrives at the ball and nobody recognizes her, not even her stepfamily. The prince is smitten with Cinderella right away, love at first sight. So the king orders the Grand Duke to make sure that the romance goes off without a hitch. The Duke prevents anyone from interfering as Cinderella and the prince wander out to the palace grounds and the two begin to fall in love. When Cinderella hears the clock strike midnight, she flees the palace and loses a slipper on the staircase. The Grand Duke sends the palace guards after her, but when the magic is over, Cinderella and the animals hide from them in the forest. Cinderella realizes, though, that the second glass slipper, the one that stayed on her foot, did not disappear with the magic, and she is still in possession of it. The prince vows to marry whoever the lost glass slipper belongs to. So the king, who is elated at the development, sends the Grand Duke to the home of every maiden in the country in order to have them try it on. When word of this reaches Lady Tremaine, Anastasia, and Drizella, they order Cinderella to get them ready for the Grand Duke's visit. Lady Tremaine overhears Cinderella humming the waltz from the ball and realizes that she is, in fact, the mystery girl that is being sought. So Lady Tremaine locks Cinderella in the attic while Anastasia and Drizella try on the glass slipper. Jock and Gus steal the attic key and attempt to give it to Cinderella, but they are stopped by Lucifer. The birds go and get Bruno, who proceeds to chase Lucifer until he falls out of a window, while the mice free Cinderella just as the Grand Duke is about to leave. In order to prevent Cinderella from trying on the glass slipper, Lady Tremaine trips the page that is carrying the slipper, causing it to shatter. Much to the surprise of the Grand Duke and the chagrin of Lady Tremaine, Anastasia, and Drizella, Cinderella returns to her room and fetches the other glass slipper. She tries it on for the Grand Duke, and of course, it fits perfectly. The prince and Cinderella get married and set off for their honeymoon in a white carriage as they live happily ever after. Now, in comparison to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, I feel, is leaps and bounds better. It's still not one that I really can sink my teeth into. Something about Cinderella has always rubbed me the wrong way. And I will get a little bit deeper in that when we get to Sleeping Beauty in a few days. But I do enjoy the music, Bippity Boppity Boo, the work songs, Cinderella, Cinderella, every day it's Cinderella, that the mice sing, so cute. But yeah, like I said, it is definitely leaps and bounds better visually, story-wise, pacing-wise, so much better, in my opinion, than Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Cinderella, although not my favorite, I don't have as much of a hard time sitting down and watching it if my niece wants to watch it, my daughter wants to watch it. I need to watch it, whatever the case may be. Snow White is a chore, Cinderella not so much. And it's with that in mind that my rating for Cinderella is going to be 3.5 out of 5 stars. Again, there's issues that I have with Cinderella that I will get a little bit deeper into when it comes to Sleeping Beauty in a few days. But just for the sheer fact that it is, in my opinion, better than Snow White, 3.5 out of 5 stars is what it gets from me. Make sure you guys get out there, go to social media, get those hashtags trending for me. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade JJ Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag Statboy Approved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you guys get out there. Do what that commercial just told you. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all your official merchandise for the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood. Get you your Renegade JJ Williams shirt, Dad's Not Always on Wrestling shirt, Statboy Sports Bar, hashtag Statboy Approved, hashtag Shenanigans. Get you your official t-shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network. 3 different designs of the Jeff Meacham Network logo for you to choose from, along with Talk Wrestling, Meachamania, and so much more. Get out there, show your support. While you're showing your support, do what that ticker tells you. Go to that PayPal, send me a donation. However much you can spare, however much you're willing to spend, or go to that link tree. Purchase something off my Amazon movie wish list. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not monetized yet. Working on getting my viewership hours up so I can monetize. Until then, the only way I'm going to make money off of these is if you guys send me a donation. If you guys enjoy my work and how much time and effort I put into these, and you go to that PayPal and you send me a donation. If you go to the link tree and get me something off my Amazon wish list, when it arrives and I open it on Renegade Recap, I'll give you a shout out. Thank you for it live on the air. And then when I work it into my theme months and find a spot for me to review it, I'll give you guys another shout out. Just my way of saying thank you for the support that you guys give me. Tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, I'll be bringing you yet another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, and it'll be 1951's Alice in Wonderland, featuring the vocal talents of Catherine Beaumont, Ed Wynn, Sterling Holloway, there's that name again, Verna Felton, J. Pat O'Malley, Bill Thompson, Joseph Kearns, and Jerry Kalana. You're not going to want to miss out tomorrow when we get curiouser and curiouser and go through the looking glass to enter Wonderland. Everybody will be there. The Caterpillar, the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, the Queen of Hearts, the King of Hearts, the Walrus and the Carpenter, the White Rabbit, and of course, Alice herself. So you're not going to want to miss out tomorrow when we take a trip into Wonderland. To all my loyal viewers watching the premiere, leaving your comments and your thoughts over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys. All my loyal viewers tune in a little bit later after work, watch on demand, leaving your comments down here. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys that tune in for me on a regular basis and support the show. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you guys next time.